Welcome to the On Blast podcast, Ira.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, we've decided. What is it? What is that? Is that like Ira's mating call?
It's a little bit before your time.
A little before my time. Do you care to elaborate?
Do you watch wrestling?
I know a thing or two here and there.
Titus O'Neil.
No fucking clue. Never heard of her.
One of the worst wrestlers ever, but he was one of my favorite.
Sounds like a soccer player.
Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, you're right.
All right, so we nailed it, Ira. Right on the money, 6 o'clock every Sunday. We made it. We're on the On Blast Live Facebook page, which is just such an incredible feat. For anyone that doesn't know, technology has not been very kind to us, me and Ira.
No.
So
it has literally been like the bane of our existence, but like the crux of whatever we do. Like it has done everything to make it like as impossible to do this podcast, but yet still we found a way, because we never gave up. And with me, I'm relentless, and I was shooting my relentless energy at you, and you just did not give up.
I was receiving the energy because I was like, man, what the hell are we doing? I mean, this is like something's not connecting here. And, but we kept hammering away, and I'm happy that we could sort it out. I am, however, curious about, how this, if it's on our personal pages. Do you know at all if it goes onto the personal pages when we're on live?
It's not on our personal pages at all. More or less, people are only going to see on our personal pages what we post up. But as far as this here, they're not even going to get the notifications like they did, for Anthony's page or even, Ira's page. Like, it's not going to come up. It's only going to come up to the followers of On Blast, which we're going to have to, if, we don't have any followers this week, it's our own damn fault.
Well, that's, I thought about that. And before, I don't want us to get too ahead of ourselves, but, if people want to see the On Blast podcast and they want good content and they want transparency and they want to be informed and stay educated and just be engaged in that general topic of conversation about, doing better in life and whatnot, they're going to have to come to our page, man.
Yeah,
that's just the bottom line.
All we got to do is market ourselves on our own pages, But I mean, realistically, everybody that's on our pages, they should know about On Blast Podcast right now because you and I have been reposting over and over every single freaking episode.
Well, many people don't realize I handle all of the marketing for On Blast and Whiteboard Worthy, and I still somehow kind of have personal time to look at stuff for myself, but as far as I'm concerned, if you want to be involved with the conversation, you're going to get your ass to the On Blast podcast because this is where we host it, baby. Right here is where it's going down. It's on our YouTube channel every week, but you will be able to catch us every Sunday, 6 o'clock, because 8 o'clock was way too late, man. That was that was a killer, right? Yeah,
man. I if you didn't notice, dude, I was just so fucking tired at 8. And here's the thing, I was always so full of energy. 8 o'clock, I'm ready to go. But here I am. I'm almost 40 years old now. It's like 8 o'clock comes around, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Ira, you're preaching
and
to
I
the
thought
choir,
that day
dude.
would never come. I refuse to even fucking admit this shit. But you know what? I have no choice because I was falling asleep on camera last week.
You're like, man, I'm pretty tired, Tone. I don't think I'll make it through this episode. I'm looking at you. And not for nothing, age has nothing to do with this, Ira, because you know me. I'm 25.
It's got a lot to do with it. When you get older, you get tired.
Well, okay, that's a given. But for me, I'm an old guy at heart. I get fucking tired too. 8 o'clock, I'm like, I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah.
So, Ira, it's been a busy week for you, right?
Oh my God, it's been such a fucking week.
Tell us, what's been going on? What's been going on in Ira's life? There's some crazy things going on.
Well, I mean, lo and behold, I fucking got COVID. I tested fucking positive. My whole household, so now we're all quarantined. when it first happened, I was the only one that had the test, and I came out positive. I felt really fucked up. So what I did was I packed all my stuff, and I took myself and I went to a hotel for the last 4 days, but upon, going through everything, I was on top of my girlfriend, and, I had her go and get tested. And when she got tested, she came back positive. So now it's like, we're just going to have to quarantine together. And then the kids came back positive too. So, I mean,
so the kids came back positive too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, one did, one didn't, and it's going to happen to the other one, but the thing is though, is like my personal experience, and this is where I'm grateful, because my symptoms were only mild.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to be real. Like, I had the chills, I was cold, sweating, I had the fever. I mean, all I taste is fucking gunmetal still. But the thing is though, is these little things compared to what other people are going through is literally nothing. I've been through hell and back. What I'm dealing with COVID, dude, this is just a walk in the park. I mean, I'm in my 5th day right now, and I feel good. I feel all right. I feel a little tightness in my chest and everything, but luckily, the thing hasn't really popped up and really, did damage to me or my family like it has so many other people. And that's where I'm grateful.
Sure.
And I'm not sitting here laughing in Death's face. Like, when I was younger, I probably would have laughed in his face, but like, haha, yeah.
And you're not out of the woods yet either. It's a slippery slope. COVID is. Look. You got a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. COVID's bullshit. COVID's government.
Dude, it's fucking real. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's real, because the symptoms that I have, the way I feel, they're not normal. Like, this is not a normal feeling. Like, it doesn't feel exactly like the flu. It's similar. But the thing is, though, is if you really want to like take personal inventory and then also really dig into how how you're feeling with these symptoms, it's like nothing you've felt before. Your chills, they're not the same. The sweating, it's not the same. Like, it's something completely different, and it's different. So with that being said, that's where I take extra care. And I try as, hard as I can to, limit as much as, space that I'm infecting. Unfortunately, my family was infected, so I ended up coming back home, and, we're all quarantined right now. So, it's going to be a fun next.
And how long is that going to last? Quarantine for all of you guys.
I'm probably going to have to start my count all over again, which is what it is. Like, my count ends when my family's count ends. It's not. It might have started with me.
Sure.
But it's gonna end with all of us.
Oh man,
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. No, I'm totally picking up what you're putting down. That's again, that's a slippery slope, man. And you couldn't have said it better. I don't ever really think you're quite out of the woods. It's COVID. It's weird. It's deadly, dude. And it's nothing to fuck around with. I don't care who you are. Anything that has the potential to kill me, I take very seriously.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, is I'm young and very healthy, so that puts me a little bit ahead of the curve. However, the thing is, though, is those with a weakened immune system, I don't know how that's going to affect them.
Well, you see it. You've seen it already, man. The amount of people that we've lost to COVID is just astronomical. The numbers are just unbelievable. I mean, so, I'm wishing you a speedy recovery. The family. I'm wishing you guys stay healthy. And, I hear the Rugrats in the background. They sound like they're in good spirits, so that's always good.
Oh, I mean, they're on their Xbox, so you already know the curses are flying left and right.
Uh-oh. You know what we do for the cursing? We get that soap, and we see how many bubbles you can blow.
Oh, man.
What a time growing up in the 90s.
Oh, dude. The worst was the dial dish soap. Oh, my fucking God. That was the worst. My mom used to get me with that. It was over.
Oh, it would never come out of your mouth either. It was terrible.
No, and the thing is, though, is and this is where I fucked up. I always end up swallowing half of it.
That could
So I was
explain a
fucked
lot,
for
Ira.
hours. I was
That
fucked
could
for
explain a
hours.
lot.
Fuck off.
Sometimes it's yeah, shove it up your ass, right, Ant? Yeah, okay, gotcha. I'll remember that. I'll store that one away for a later date. So Ira, you know, we bounced around some topics for a couple days. You were kind of down and out. I didn't know you were staying in a motel for a couple days.
I thought I had told you. I honestly thought I had told you. I said it so many fucking times that, like, you know what, like, it is what it is. And I apologize, Ant.
No.
I really
Dude,
thought I
come
told you.
Hey, Ira, keep that shit to yourself. We don't need the apologies here, okay? Yeah, I was amazed to hear you were living in a motel, to be politically correct for everybody, because I did say hotel on the phone with Ira earlier today, and he made sure to correct me. It is motel. There's a big difference.
Oh, yes, sir.
So, we bounced around a couple topics, and you know, we landed on people pleasers, dude. People pleasers, and
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a great topic to really dissect, and you know, and that's something that resonates with me. I know it resonates with you.
Oh, yeah.
But mainly, I mean, for me, man, people pleasers, I think they could be the best fucking people and the worst fucking people. And what I mean is, people pleasers will always try to please everyone around them. And long term, I think that has devastating effects on a person's mental health. And when I say devastating, I mean you spend every day chasing another person to please them and keep everyone happy against what you may believe, because you know that's just what you do, and you please these people, and at the end of the day you end up empty. And I know that from experience, and I speak wholeheartedly from experience. I know you know that, and you know, I don't want anyone to ever think I'm just talking out of my ass, like, ooh, we're going to talk about people pleasers today. Because I went down that road, and trying to please everybody is absolutely impossible. And I need people, I need everyone. I hope everyone knows you cannot please everybody. You just can't, you know?
And here's the thing: if you really pay attention to yourself, you're trying to please everybody. The amount of shit that you have to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's true though, man. I mean, it's just, you know, and just I see it so often, and I genuinely feel bad for people pleasers, and I don't want to say it and like put that fucking, you know, stamp that label on it, like you're a people pleaser. Not at all. I
mean,
think
there's
that
nothing
is
wrong with being a people pleaser though either. Like,
no,
it's just there's
no.
levels to it though.
No, and like I said, there's a positive side to that.
Right.
But I'm more familiar with well, I'm probably more familiar with both, but I always look at the negative side of things more, because I'm always harsh to judge, and I have these, like, you know, unrealistic expectations. But you know, it's tough to live that life, because when you're a people pleaser, think of the communication breakdown, right? If you're constantly trying to please somebody that you probably totally disagree with, and you don't communicate that, just imagine like what happens to your brain over time. Like, I think you might just like explode, you know, from the inside out.
Well, no, and here's the thing: if you're doing that and you're trying to please people, you know, but you're not even being real with yourself, that's a problem. Because what's going to happen is you're going to bottle up all your actual feelings because you're not getting them out, and then when you explode, you know, you're going to explode on somebody that probably didn't deserve it, but at the same time you just had your wits end. But the only person you really had to blame is yourself, because you are not being honest with yourself or the people that you're trying to please.
How do you fix that? Because I find myself having this conversation with somebody, and hold off on your answer. I have this conversation with people so often. I will directly say, be direct with me, be transparent with me, give me 100% the truth. Even if I hate it, just give me the truth, okay? And that opens the door of communication, because I don't want anyone that I interact with to just please me. I want people to please themselves, because you have to, you know, that's so important. But like, I mean, How do you fix
Is that a
that?
Red
Like,
Bull?
don't worry about me, Ira, okay? I didn't get any sleep last night. I
And
didn't
so
go to
what?
sleep.
You turned to the dark side. Red Bull gives you wings.
I'm hoping Red Bull gives me energy. I don't need any damn wings. The energy's fine. It's just like you're up all night, you work all night, and you're just like, you're just like all day, you're just like riding this wave of like, I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. And here we are, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not sure if I'm up or down, But back to what I was saying. How do you fix that? How do you change that habit of not communicating and people pleasing and doing the more, I don't know, positive thing or the more healthy thing for you? How do you fix that?
The thing is though, is like for anybody, period, you need to identify the fucking problem first. Before you can do anything, you need to identify that this is a problem.
Sure.
You got to identify the how, the what, the why, and the when.
Ooh, I like that.
Once you do all that, you're gonna line all your ducks up in a row, and you're gonna look at yourself like, damn, I'm really just become a yes man, a people pleaser. And the way, and for my personal experience, and because I've been there trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it doesn't fucking work.
Why doesn't that work?
Because you end up telling people shit that they want to hear, but not necessarily what they need to hear. So what ends up happening is you make promises you can't keep. When you make promises you can't keep and you don't deliver, what the fuck happens?
You know what they say, under promise and over deliver, right?
And they say that, but
But yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Ira. I was just looking at something on the laptop here. I want to make sure all of our viewers are getting a good scope of what's happening here. But yeah, so you live this life of, trying to please everyone, man. And I did that for a long time. I really did. And I thought that was healthy. I truly did. And I think a lot of people find themselves just like constantly in these situations, just day to day, man, dealing with people, whether it's your work, your job, your family. And they're in these predicaments, very peculiar predicaments, where they don't even like realize that they're people pleasing, right? Have you ever been there where you're just like subconsciously just like, you don't agree with this person and you could probably communicate that in a constructive manner, but you just agree with them because you're a people pleaser, and then you suppress how you truly feel, which
and then it gets brushed under the rug.
Oh, and then, oh man, where the hell does that lead to? No.
It's a rabbit hole, man. It's definitely a rabbit hole, because once you just, it doesn't go like this, like a downhill. Once you jump in the hole, you go straight down into it. It's to the black hole abyss, because you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You don't know what's going to go. But one thing I've learned from my experience is that you end up having to, fabricate a lot of fibs. You end up fabricating a lot of fibs. And you don't mean to do it, but the thing is, though, is you end up doing it because now you're like, fuck it. I stepped into this giant hole and I don't know where it's going to lead me.
Yeah.
And you're just going down, 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 down. And all you can do is just keep rolling with those punches. And those punches are going to keep coming.
And I genuinely feel bad for those people, because I think there's something in them where they feel like they don't necessarily have a voice. And so a great example is my little sister Isabella, who she's young, okay? She's one of the kindest kids I know. She doesn't do anything bad, and she's like your golden child, if you will. She's a really good kid. Nothing compared to what I was at her age, okay? But she's a great kid, and more times than not, I see people take advantage of that, and she feels a certain way, but she's so kind and she wants to keep everyone happy that she doesn't necessarily voice certain things that may bother her or she disagrees with, right? So you just you start this goddamn, like you said, you jump down the rabbit hole, and you're just like, every day it's just like subconsciously you're just like repressing all this shit. Like I would never want anyone to feel like that. Like, I want people to feel truly empowered. You know, I spent so many years of trying to please people just to, I think, mainly to avoid that confrontation, of disagreeing with a person. But, you know, I want people to understand, like, you need to interrupt that, that habit, because it's a habit,
Right.
and it's a bad habit. You don't want that habit. It's not good.
Well, I mean, interrupting it is, the first thing is identification.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because here's the thing. If somebody doesn't identify that they have this problem, then what the fuck are they going to work on? What are they going to fix?
Nothing to fix if you think you're fine.
Exactly. But like, my
good.
personal experience, I was that person that used to just start conversations just for, like, confrontation. And
Yeah.
then so once I got out of prison and everything, and I'm dealing with people, and you were actually party to this, at our days when we were working with GNC, where I constantly kept on trying to be a people pleaser. I wanted to please all of our colleagues around us. Like, the main reason was I didn't want to create that controversy or create that type of conflict between us, because I was trying to win them over. So within winning them over, I found that I had spun a big web, a very intricate web that I had, like,
intricate. Yes.
I had to maneuver through this thing. Dude, it was so fucking exhausting. And it got to a point where it's just like, I just fucking stopped it. I just started telling people exactly what they needed to hear. Basically what you were telling me the whole fucking time. Stop telling people what they want to hear, but tell them what they need to hear.
That is so important. That is, dude, that is single-handedly the best piece of information I think a person can get, right?
Yeah.
Tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And, as soon as I figured out, like, I figured that out, like, okay, I can't please everyone. I need to please me, right? That was fucking liberating, man. There's no better way to put it. It's a great feeling to know I just, like, stumbled upon this newfound thing,
Right.
of, and I talk about it all the time, self-care, man, taking care of yourself and doing what's best for you. You got to focus on home base. Home base is number one. I just get, I at least once a day I have a conversation with somebody, and I'm saying the same thing, dude. I'm beating the same fucking drum. You got to focus on home base, and
What kind of drum do you got?
well, some days it's the bongos, the other days it's, a couple pots
Do you
and
know
pans.
the drums that I hear? It's the Jumanji drums. That's literally what goes through my head when I have my drum beat.
Yeah, that's that hysteria you speak of. Yeah, I totally,
Yeah.
totally. But I'm having that conversation every day. Self-care is so fucking important, and I think a lot of people look at self-care like maybe it's a fucking joke. And trust me, I've said it to people, and you can see it all over their face. They're like, self-care? What are you, fucking fag? What are you, a loser? And no, because if you don't take care of yourself, man, and you spend every day of your life, I got some people really close to me, Ira, that do this. They people please, and it is devastating to their life. It is absolutely devastating.
Dude. Like, I know from personal experience, it's fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
It's just so exhausting. Because I went from a place of not giving two fucks about what anybody thought about me, which I still kind of am in that realm.
What about me? You don't care
care
what I think of you?
I care. Like, I'm not gonna bullshit. I care.
Of course you do.
The thing is, though, is the opinion isn't going to make me change everything in my life.
Yeah.
If I don't agree with something, I'm gonna voice it. But at one point I wasn't voicing a lot of it, mainly just due to, I felt I was in a fragile position where if I had lost this relationship or, this person's buy-in, whatever term you want to use, then if I felt I was going to lose that, I just kept the charade going. And it's so fucking exhausting, but at the same time, how are you helping somebody by telling them what they want to hear? Like, you're really not fucking helping anybody doing it. You're not even helping yourself. All you're doing is just you're just blowing hot air.
Yeah, it's total hot air, and I cannot I can't imagine living that life. It seems like Chinese water torture to me. If someone told me what I wanted to hear every day, I can't imagine. And you can see people are raised like this, live like this. They're never challenged. They're never told something they don't want to hear, and that makes them extremely fucking vulnerable to a world that's really screwed up. It makes them extremely vulnerable to failure.
Yeah.
Setting.
But the thing is, though, is failure is, right next to success, and we covered that last week.
Yes, it is. Failure is right next to. I keep writing in my journal. You're gonna fail your way to success. All right, fail your way to success. Because if you can fail your way to success, it's like nothing's going to stop you, man. Nothing can stop you. If you're so okay with just sucking and failing and making those mistakes and trying to do better, you're going to be successful in some way, whether it be professionally in your career or personally at home with, your
Right.
family. If you keep trying and you keep trying, I just wrote it in an email. Don't stop trying. Whatever the hell you do, if you are in your darkest fucking hour, which is where it matters most, if you are in your darkest hour, you absolutely cannot give up. You have to keep trying, whatever it is. Whatever it is,
Oh, well, keep trying. What about? Okay, so we have him on liftoff. Anyway,
Sorry.
so.
I had this light in my face. It was too much. It was too much. I'm back.
You want to know? I'm having a hard time getting used to this thing, but it's my little halo in front of me. This is just a reminder of death.
Ira, this is we're getting our feet wet. We're dunking them in the pool. We're like, okay, as long as we get our message out there, then we'll figure out the lights and the cameras later.
Yeah, dude, I'm always the pussy, taking one toe, putting it in, pulling it back out, and then I'll put my whole foot in. Like, oh, it's too cold.
Look at me, I'm Ira. I'm a big man's man, but I'm scared of the water.
Dude, I fucking hate the water. I hate large bodies of water. Okay,
what are you, a cat? Meow. Gato. Sorry.
I'm a weasel. I'm a weasel.
Ah, yes, a weasel. You can be anything you want to be, dude. This is America. This is a land of the free. You could be.
Did you know
Ira,
it's a
weasel.
fetish to wear a plushie suit? Like,
what is a plushie suit?
Okay, so a plushie suit basically is like a fuzzy animal suit, and so if I want to be a ferret, I can be a ferret, and I'll find other ferret people. Interesting, right?
I have my concerns about you.
Dude, you've been telling me this for years now, but you're yet to do any research.
What do I research? Anomalies? Like, where do I begin?
Well, look, here's the thing. You have the direct connection to research by contacting my dad. And he probably will not shut up if you ask him any one question.
Oh, I'm sure Dad will unload on me.
See, he popped up. There he is. Hello, you guys. What's up? What's up, Pop?
Oh, Ira, you see the comments?
Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
I turned my comments on.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm happy.
I would love for our viewers to interact and they start putting up some comments.
That's all right. We do our thing, they do their thing, whatever that may be. Either way.
Dude, you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to our haters, so therefore they start cursing me out on the comments. I'm waiting for it so much.
Look, Ira, you're always going to have haters, okay? And that's too bad. But we're not looking to stir the pot. Okay, I'm not looking to stir the pot. Ira will fight anybody.
I love how you pulled yourself out of that equation.
I just want to make sure there's no I in we, okay? We. So
are we going to the Eiffel Tower?
We obviously should talk on the phone throughout the week, because this is what happens when we don't go all week without talking, and we finally talk for the first time in a week, and it's like it's just like diarrhea of the mouth.
Oh yeah, I mean, but here's the thing: isn't that what this podcast is about? Diarrhea of the fucking mouth sometimes.
We're just professional people that ramble. we're just professional ramblers, man. We just ramble. We're just rambling guys. You know, I always say, and I stand true to it, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And that's all that fucking matters. So Ira, back to where we started with the people pleasing, because that's so important, man. That is something that, you know, we want to still take a look at, because, you know, you look at the negative side of things with the people pleasing, and long term, dude, it can really crush a person, you know. But there is the side of, you know, that habit. Like, how do you change a habit like that, dude? Like, is it possible to just like wake up? Is it possible to watch the podcast and say, well, Anthony and Ira said, you know, X, Y, and Z makes me a people pleaser. How do I fix this? And you're fixed. Like, I mean, how do you change that?
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, how do you change that?
I mean, the thing is, though,
there's
no simple fix.
Yeah.
Right, and I keep going back to the one thing: identification. You know, you have to be able to identify, you know, the first behavior. You know, if you identify the first behavior before it comes out of your mouth, you know, you can stop yourself from doing that, and then you revert back like, damn, I just almost started. Let me actually give my real opinion, and let me see what kind of results I get from that.
Yeah, I think there's I think you have to, especially
you have
when
to interrupt the dialogue.
Yes, you are. You have to be acutely aware of what the hell is happening in the moment psychologically, which is something I'm very involved in. I always like seeing, you know me better than anyone, and you're the same way. You know, I like to see how a person's brain works. I love it psychologically. I love understanding people, and you do have to interrupt that dialogue, but. Like if you're at home, because dude, and keep it as simple as possible, you know, not to overcomplicate something. Like, how do you identify that, man? If you're like, so your blinders are so thick, like how can, like, if you're home watching this, like, is there something that you can like figure out to say like, oh, I'm a people pleaser, this is really mentally unhealthy for me? Is there like, how do you come to that determination of like, okay, this is a problem?
Well, I mean, one thing we got to keep in mind, and, you know, as you were asking me that question, my ADHD just kind of went rampant, and I didn't hear anything you were saying.
Sure.
Because I was formulating my own thoughts.
I answered my own question while it's giving you the question.
Right. But, like, you know, the thought that I was having while you were posing that, which is, you know, something very real. You know, here's the thing. What if you have some people that you have no choice but to be a people pleaser to them, because the only thing that they want to hear is what they want to hear. Like, if, let's just say you have a boss that like you have to tell them what they want to hear,
or you're going to get fired.
And anything outside of that, you know, how do you go about, you know, fixing yourself on that? Like, that
I think that's
in the long run period.
Yeah, even if you're faking it till you make it, that's gonna fuck you up either way. It's even if you don't. I think even if you don't mean it, and you do have that, you know, that boss. I think that's a great example. You know, and a lot of people do, man. They have these bosses that are just an absolute mess. They're total atrocities to work for, and that can make a person's life living hell. So pleasing them evidently makes their life easier.
It lets you work another day.
Yeah, it buys you some time. It sounds like borrowed time, but time no less.
Right.
And you know, that's a peculiar position to be in. But I think mainly when it comes down to people pleasing, man, and if someone ever thinks that they are a people pleaser, or they just feel like mentally they're just like, they feel empty inside, for me that was the problem. Not so much pleasing people, because I like pleasing people. It's in me. It's my DNA. I like to help people. I like seeing people to, you know, do well. It's just who I am. It'll always be who I am. And I will always put myself last when it comes to other people, because it's who I am. But
I mean, you always put yourself last.
I can't help it, man. I can't imagine.
I do the same thing.
I can't imagine not doing that. It would burn my ass until the end of time. And when I do it, it almost feels wrong. It feels like I'm
you know, they make cream for that, right?
Huh? What?
You said it burned your ass raw. I said they make cream for that.
I'll be sure to stop at CVS as soon as we're done with this, of course. Sure. I'll make sure I tell them Ira sent me to get the cream.
I know you miss my wittiness.
Well, luckily we do this every week, Ira, and usually I'm fortunate enough to talk to you throughout the week, but you were shacked up in a motel
I've been
somewhere.
Sick. I've been sick. Look, I was literally shacked up in a motel for 4 days. Like, this is straight like stir crazy coming out right now, because I kid you not, like I literally would not leave the room. Like but then again, at the same time, I was sick, Luckily coming into today, my symptoms have greatly reduced. I don't feel like crap, but for days I felt like absolute shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here on the bed, and I'm just like, damn, I got the podcast coming up on Sunday. Am I going to be able to do this?
And that's where it comes down. That's so big, man, because I think people get this notion of like, maybe they see us and they think like, man, these guys are on point. They're on the money. We have bad days, right? I think we have a lot of bad days.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I think I got more bad days than good days in me. Okay. But, I think that goes back to pleasing yourself, man. You gotta be able to, please yourself just as much as, anyone else. And I think people need to, I think just the awareness around, hey, I am not handling myself. I'm not being very kind to myself. I don't know how else I would put it other than I'm not being kind to myself, and I need to start looking out for myself better. I think that awareness around that pleasing other people, I think just the awareness alone could probably fix that, right?
Awareness alone, yes, can fix it, as long as it's identified.
Sure.
And awareness doesn't mean identification. Awareness just means you're just being aware.
Yeah. That's like
you need
hearing
to identify which behaviors are what.
Yeah. It's like hearing someone, but listening to someone is entirely different,
Oh, yes. And how, like, even though I'm deaf, how many times did I hear you, but I didn't listen? Or
how many
vice
times
versa.
did you
how
hear?
many times did I listen to you, but I didn't hear what the fuck you were saying?
How many times did you hear me and acted like you didn't fucking hear me and make me want to chop my own head off while I'm talking to you? And
What'd you say?
What?
Huh?
What? You're setting a bad example. You're supposed to be a role model. That's why we have the On Blast podcast. We are for the people, Ira. I think it's so important to really stress that. We do dick around. We do have a fun time.
So one thing we need to make everybody known, we need to let everybody know about, is you were my boss. And it was my on-duty job to make sure that your job was much easier, but at the same time, I have to make things harder for you.
Ira,
like price
you
tags.
you are a real treat. Luckily, we will not be diving too far into that GNC conversation. But yeah, working together was truly a treat. You made my life easier. I made your life easier. And, we have a very functional dynamic, that I have to say I'm very, proud to have you as a close friend. You're like a brother to me. You may not have my blood and you may be a little older, but, I look at you like family. And back to what I was saying, the podcast is not just dicking around, and we do this because frankly I love this shit. I eat it up. If right, I mean if
we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it. If we didn't love it, we would not do it.
We're all or nothing kind of guys. I mean, you're getting all of it or nothing at all, and I can say genuinely, I'm very, very happy that we pulled the trigger on this, Ira. I think, we do speak very candidly. And for a lot of people that can be a lot to handle.
Off-putting.
Put it, take it as you wish, but yeah, it can be a lot for some people to handle. But man, whatever comes out of your mouth or mine, I can say very confidently, it is always coming straight from the heart, and it is coming from a good place.
Absolutely.
Because The world, dude, the world can certainly use more love, man. I mean, it
I
really
agree with
can.
that.
Like,
I definitely agree with that.
right? Like the world's just like, and I hate to make that blanket statement like the world's fucked up, but
The world is fucked up, especially right now. Like
yeah,
people's thought processes are fucked up. Their direction in life is fucked up. You know, they half like, dude, half our country doesn't even know what to fucking believe. So here we are, not knowing what to believe. Like, how do you think that's gonna be interpreted? You think people are gonna be fucking happy that they're clueless, or
yeah.
that they potentially could be being lied to, or that they're given the information, but they're only given this much information when there's a problem this fucking big. You know,
Look,
so I mean, we can break this down and go on in circles and circles and circles, but we're living
we
in a
could,
fucked up time.
yeah, we could peel back the layers on that all day. I mean, and
Oh
I
yeah,
look at it like this, man. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And
yeah,
you have to look at that from where you are in your life, whether you're a 70-year-old guy, you're a 40-year-old guy, you're a 30-year-old woman, you're a 15-year-old kid. Leadership is influence. If you don't like what is going on around you, you need to change those circumstances. And that's exactly what I mean when we're talking about people pleasing. You need to change that fucking dynamic, because if you change that dynamic, even just marginally, your life will be subject to so much more change. Because if you can take that initiative, which I get it, it's hard. And I used to say to you guys at, GNC Ira, you just have to get out there. Make the
yep.
attempt. Just do it. You're going to suck. You're going to fail. You're going to fall flat on your face. I promise you.
And I have so
But,
many times.
oh, yeah. And so have I. And that's why I say it. But that is what makes you incredibly good at, persevering and seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and, identifying when there's these underlying issues, especially now, man. I think the podcast should be really like a safe haven for people that are, mentally they're not in a good place. I think, and I hope this is where people come. I hope they come here and see we're two very real people talking about these aren't sensitive topics by any stretch of the
This
imagination.
is reality. This is fucking
Yeah,
reality.
these are serious conversations. We're talking about people's livelihoods. We're talking about COVID. We're talking about, making an impact. And
Dude, I'm on a fucking podcast with COVID.
you're on a podcast with COVID. You're right. And if that doesn't say something about your character, I don't know what does. That's just, I don't think it gets any better than that. I mean, you're a stand-up individual, and it's important people understand that about you and I, so that when they do watch this, you need to be able to relate. We're two normal guys. We're not doing anything spectacular. We're just doing what we enjoy and we love. And, you have to do that in life, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in a very empty place. And, you can repress it and repress it and repress it. This, back to the, talking to people, dealing with people, you can just keep putting it to the back of your mind, out of sight, out of mind, but it's still there, and it's going to come back and get you. And I tell people all the time, the older you get, the heavier your baggage gets. If you don't handle this shit now, it's going to be really hard, almost probably impossible, to handle these mental roadblocks down the line. And I think,
Well, I mean, that's why there's an old adage saying, heavy is the head that wears a crown.
yeah, yeah. And it's so true, man. You have to handle these mental roadblocks, because if you can get them out of the way and you can face them, and I get it. Vulnerability is a hell of a drug. If you can make yourself right, Ira. I mean, to put yourself out there is, I mean, that is incredible. And it's, again, that's one of those things where it's extremely eye-opening, because you need to be able to have those moments of clarity, because there's so much more to life. And if you can conquer roadblocks like people pleasing, you're going to start to see, hey, you're going to see that energy start to shift into your court, balls in your court now, right? And now you get to focus on you. That is as good as it fucking gets. I mean, it's as good as it gets. You start to focus on you, you will see your life change before your very eyes. But You know, and
Yeah, I mean,
and
one thing is like we touched a lot on the negative aspects of people pleasing, but what about the positive aspects of it though?
what about them? Are there positive aspects of
Well, I mean,
pleasing
yeah, because I
everyone?
mean, look, if you're going about people pleasing, in moderation, is there anything wrong with that?
No. I look, I don't do anything, I don't do most things in moderation. I do things to the point of addiction and insanity, to the point of nauseum. I do it until it can't be done anymore. It's like I need a snack. Let me go get a bag of chips. But while I'm standing there, I get the family size bag of chips because why not? Right? Because I don't just want a snack. I want the whole goddamn meal. Okay. And
Right.
it just can't be like that. Okay. But there's totally positive side to, being, I don't want to keep saying people pleasing, but to be a kind and sincere individual
It
is
costs
very
nothing.
possible.
It costs nothing.
Costs $0 to be kind. $0 to be a good person, to be a kind person, and to be sincere. And you can do that all damn day. I'm sincere, 100%. All right. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. It's very simple formula. You know, you can be sincere and you can please everybody, but you do have to make sure you please yourself. How do you please yourself? I mean, everyone's got different avenues. For me, I love journaling. Journaling is one of those things. If it's a good day, it's a bad day, I can pick up my journal right here, right? And
there's the journal.
that's
Got to
my
get our
book.
hands on that one day.
Oh, you'll never get your hands on that, Ira. You know, cold day in hell, you think you're getting your hands on that.
Learn all
journal.
Anthony's dark secrets.
Well, what's that one saying? There's two lessons, two secrets in life. Never share all of your secrets with anybody, and the second one is, empty blank. I don't know, something like that, but whatever.
Well, the one I was thinking was, if you're dead set on revenge, dig two graves.
Okay, well, that is not relevant at all to whatever the hell I was getting
That's
to.
what I was thinking of. That's where I thought you were going with
it. My best friend Nick, his mom, when we were younger, we'd stress her out and she'd start rubbing her eyebrows. She'd go crazy.
Oh, so it rubbed off on you?
Nancy was, she's a beautiful soul. I love you, Ma. I'm sure she'll watch this at some point. I love you, Nick and Cassie, just so everyone knows. But where was I? But yeah, man, there is positive sides to pleasing other people. I find it, honestly, when I can help someone in a positive way like that, I feel full, I feel good about myself knowing, hey, I can go help somebody, and there is a positive side to that, but unfortunately, I emphasize the negative aspect because, look, dude, here's the facts, okay? These are the facts. COVID, it's here. It's been here for the last year. It sucks. It is polarizing every aspect of everything. I mean, the economy, your career, your home life, work life balance. It is polarizing. It has destroyed so many different things, and there's negative aspects to that have to be looked at because people are mentally, they're fucking drowning. They're drowning.
Yeah.
And I look at you, Ira. You've worked clear through this whole pandemic. And
I didn't catch shit.
Well, here we are.
I didn't even have a cold.
Yeah, well, now you're sick. So here we are. My point, though, is you have to look at the negative side of things because I want anyone to understand that if they're in a bad place or they feel like they're in a dark spot, because there's so many more people out there, man. I mean, you look at the suicide numbers in the last year alone. It's fucking, it's sad, man. It's truly, truly sad. It hurts to think, that people got to that point where they felt like there was no other answer. That really hurts me because
there's always an answer. You just have to find the right outlet to find it.
Yeah, I think some people do. I know a lot of people really do struggle with that, and that's why I focus on the negative side of things, because I want people to see, because a lot of people are in a very dark place right now. And they may feel like they're trying to climb out of a 10-foot hole with a 5-foot ladder, and it feels fucking impossible, and you shouldn't have to feel like that. Bottom line.
But unfortunately, it's here. People feel like that, and take a moment and just put yourself in somebody's shoes that's in a 10-foot hole and they only have a 5-foot ladder. Imagine the anxiety, the stress, and all that when you're halfway there, just looking up like, damn, just a few more feet and I'll be out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's sad to look at, man. But there's also that positive side of things where, if you don't like your circumstances, can you change them? Can you? Is it possible?
I mean, everything can be changed. Not necessarily meaning it's for the best. But the thing is, though, is change your circumstances.
That can be hard. I mean, it's just like the example you said before with the boss that you have to please to keep your job. What if that's
right.
a similar situation where it's like, well, I can't change my circumstance. I'm stuck. What do those people do?
Here's the thing. You were in a position at one point where you were juggling, okay?
Please, Ira, don't hold back at all. I mean, you're more than
right.
welcome
I mean,
to
because you were
share
juggling,
details.
what you were going to do with your life,
Yeah.
and I mean, you completely changed your circumstances, and it didn't just happen. This is something that had to build up within you. You got, tired, sick and tired of a bunch of stuff, and
yeah.
And I know you were struggling for a while. Like, what the fuck do I do? Like, you were that person with fucking in the 10-foot hole with a 5-foot ladder, looking out. But what you ended up doing is you dug little divots in the ground as it was going up and dug yourself out of that fucking hole and created something for yourself. Now not everybody has that same strength, but the thing is, though, is that strength comes from within inside, but also, that strength has to come from, identifying that if I'm going to change this situation, it's going to change everything. And I need to make sure that I am ready to deal with everything that comes my way, good and bad. Because when you change your circumstances, you're changing a lot, and with change, it can come swiftly, it can come slowly, it can be like a tidal wave and just completely just overrun everything. But the thing is, though, is your circumstances will change. I'm not necessarily saying it's the right move. You have to identify if that's going to be the right move for you, and if it's not, I don't recommend doing it.
Well, that's I think that's a very simple, you're right though. For a long period of time, and a lot of people don't realize it, because I did put up a good face. I struggled hard, man. I struggled in ways I never thought I would ever have to struggle in my life. And I still got up in the morning and went to work and came home and made dinner and stuff. But what people didn't see was I got up in the morning and I was so sick with anxiety, I couldn't get out of bed. I literally could not get out of fucking bed. I was humiliated. I was absolutely humiliated. Oh, man. I almost just shed a tear.
Really?
I
see it.
That was humiliating. to think, how in a dark place I was, and I dragged myself out of bed. I didn't want to feel like that. I didn't want to ever feel like that, and I didn't think it was possible to feel like that. And I went to work and I smiled and I was happy, and I was in an important role. I was a leader to a lot of people, and I couldn't be me a lot of the time. And I was struggling with my relationship, and that comes back to, you need to take care of yourself, because that was the most humiliating time of my life. And I struggled, but I got up every day, man. And I put my best foot forward, and I didn't know how to do that a lot of days. and no one helped me. No one knew to help me.
Well, exactly. I mean, you didn't let anybody know, and you knew damn well if you told me, I would have been right there, which is why you didn't tell me for so long. But also at the same time, there was so much going on. There were so many layers to it that you just didn't have the time to really tell me. And I get it, and I never took it personal, but I was there for support. After you did.
Yeah, it was a humiliating time, and when I say humiliating and absolutely embarrassing, and it was one of the lowest points I've ever been at. To know I have to leave my job, my really good job that I love. All right. And it was a really low point to know my marriage was over and I was still married. It was really tough to deal with. Hey, this is ending. And I wanted to change my circumstances. That's what it came down to. I didn't want to be a victim, and I felt like my skin was crawling every day, but I wanted to please me. I spent so many years pleasing everyone else, and I got to that point where I was so riddled with issues that I didn't even know where they came from. I was just like, one day I had anxiety, one day I had this weird depression, one day I felt a certain way, and it was paralyzing, man. So I think it's really important people know, like, you can overcome anything, but you need to be able and willing to step up your game, because you're going to have to dig fucking deep. You're going to have to dig to a place inside of you that you didn't know was there, to change circumstances that feel impossible to change, because impossible it only means possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It only means possible, and you have to give it a shot. So,
you got to take a chance.
You do, man, and that's what it comes down to, really.
Right. I mean, we're nearing towards the end of our segment.
Are we?
So, do we have any parting words?
Well, I think mainly just remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember what you want out of your life. And don't forget what you want out of your life, because while you chase that, whether it be a family, a career, your job, or a white picket fence or a vacation, remember who you are, no matter what that may be. Always try to see that silver lining, even in those darkest moments. I mean, you guys just seen, I just revealed a time in my life that was extremely humiliating for me, and I was the only one that knew it was going on. I was the only one that knew. And I think it's so incredibly important to never forget, who you are, and you're going to pave the path for the life you want. And you just have to stick to that. That's all I got for anyone. That's what I got for myself. That's what I got for you, Ira. You better know who you are, because I'll come over there and whoop that ass into shape. I'll show you who you is.
Hey, I know exactly who I am.
I'll take an ass whooping from you too if I forget who I am sometime.
Oh, you have not had the ass whooping yet.
Yes. I'll save that for a later date when I feel like getting my teeth kicked in. Thank you.
I'll just twist you in a pretzel.
Okay. All right. So parting words from you, Ira, and I'll wrap it up for us.
Yeah, parting words, here's the thing. If you identify that you're pleasing people, ask yourself, why am I doing this? If you cannot come up with a reasonable, logical answer as to why you're doing it, stop. Find a way to stop and change that behavior, because you're just doing it, and it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. It's not going to produce any type of results in life that you're looking for. It's not going to improve your quality of life. All it's going to do is compound a lot of other things for you. It might get you through a moment. It might get you through a couple moments. But in the end, it's going to come back to bite you, because, you'll end up being in a position where you cannot have a backbone anymore, because you have not exhibited one. And there are positions in life where you have to have a fucking backbone. You have to have a voice. You have to be able to speak out. you have to actually be able to tell people above you no. You know, but if you can't do that,
absolutely. I want to emphasize that. Yeah, absolutely. You have to have that backbone and really be able to communicate those tough fucking conversations. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have, you know?
Ira, it's been real. It always
It's always
is.
real.
You made me shed a tear there for a second. That was something that really hit home for me. You know, in so little words, you know, I hope everyone always remembers who they are. Chase your dreams. If your circumstances suck, change them. If you can't change them, dig deep, dig hella deep, dig
Yep.
somewhere, dig to China at the beach if you gotta. Call Ira, he'll take a phone call. All right. But if you guys don't already, make sure you check out our YouTube channel and subscribe and hit that notifications button so
Definitely subscribe.
yes, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications button so you are always up to date with what is going on the On Blast podcast. And if you don't already, go follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the On Blast official hashtag. Ira, we're going to stick to 6 o'clock on Sunday next week. Do we have a topic in mind?
Not yet, but we
Not
will.
yet. All right, Ira, you take it easy. Hopefully the family feels better. I hope you're feeling good, and you guys get past this COVID thing, and, you know, we'll talk throughout the week.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.